Hello and welcome to the last episode in the series on Malden Crescent. We've looked at this map many times now from the turn of the century, and you can see the names as well. There's St Andrew, Haverstock Hill, and St Martin, Kentish Town. These are named after the local churches that were built at the same time. So that's St Barnabas, Kentish Town. So they're sort of vestry districts. So the church at this time still had a lot of financial and legal power in the area. So this is Holy Trinity, Haverstock Hill. That's where my that's the local district for my family. And this changes very soon, actually. But at this time, on the maps at the turn of the 19th century, this is still that way, and you can see this is the local church. We're having a walkabout, and you can see that's the local church that was so the Church of the Most Holy Trinity was built between 1849 and 1850 and was consecrated in 1850. So that's the same area as Malden Crescent, and the whole of these areas really all built at the same time. And when they were built, they were named after the districts they were built in were named after the local church, Church of England, in this case Holy Trinity. In a minute we'll have a quick look at a map from 1908 where again it just that's changed, but there's an autumnal squirrel, and the school that was there as well. So that's Holy Trinity. See, this is our map from 1908. So by then you can see this is our same, but the names are different. So it's just Kentish Town, there's Belsize Park, and Southend Green it's called, and Parliament Hill is no longer Traitors Hill or Parliament Hill. It's just Parliament Hill, which is the way I know it. But you can see this is now things have changed. The local government has taken over, and this is the borough. So it used to be at this time still the parish. You can see that's where the family come from, and it's still at this time the Holy Trinity district of Haverstock Hill, and the borough is St Pancras. At this time it's still a parish, so it's the parish of St Pancras, which is about to change, and it's become the borough. So it was in 1900. So we're going to visit the St Pancras, Old St Pancras Church, and that's the garden that we're going to start out in, and just have a walk around. So it's very interesting. So this is the borough that my family grew up in, was St Pancras, and then that changed again in 1965 of Camden. These are still dotted around. Metropolitan Drinking Fountain and Cattle Trough Association. Right, so we're just going to go and visit St Pancras, and these are dotted all over. There's the Metropolitan Drinking Fountain. So a lot of, not a lot, but there are these dotted all over the place. And let's have a look around. So this is St Pancras. King's Cross is just down that way. In front there's the smaller the buildings in front of us. Those there was St Pancras Hospital. So when my great granddad was in his 80s, my father used to have to come down at lunchtime from school to take him out. So they would go for a walk. Great grandfather was in a wheelchair. He's like I said, his 80s, and my dad used to take him to the park where the gardens we're going to visit. So again, he was saying about how grim the Victorian hospital was. But and over there's some bloody awful skyscraper, which is where I actually at the weekends I used to stay with my mum, who lived there briefly before she moved. So I know this area very well. It's really, again, just the atmosphere. I just find here, New End, Bloomsbury, very similar atmospheres. Just a lot of history and very interesting areas. So let's cross over the zebra crossing, and we're going to go and visit Old St Pancras Church gardens, and you can see it's like wonderful, like gated gardens here, and I don't really remember as a kid coming here, but came here quite recently and to visit the Sir John Soane Mausoleum. But first, let's have a look. This is the entrance. There's the church. The church is actually quite recently built, but the area, they're saying, it's from the 4th century. They're saying Romans were camped here, and it's consecrated ground in the 4th century, so it's incredible. So, but as an old church, I think in 1593 there's a cartographer, John Norton, who said that he thought the dilapidated St Pancras Church, so there's a lot of local belief that St Pancras was very old, perhaps the oldest church in England, they said. I've got to come and pay homage to the Sir John Soane Mausoleum, which is a wonderful, if you get the chance to visit the museum, this is in the museum in his house. This is where the idea for the telephone box comes from. The designer of the box, he was a trustee at the Sir John Soane Museum, so in 1925. So he didn't actually mention that he'd used this, but I think he saw the design of the mausoleum. I don't know, but I don't think he actually visited here. I think he probably just saw the model that's in the Sir John Soane's museum, and that's what where the design came from. So, but as I said, wonderful museum to visit, and just very interesting place, really. I think they were saying if you look that it's been ransacked a couple of times. I think that's why they've got the big gate around it now. I'm sure a couple of years ago that gate wasn't there. I'm sure when we visited. So there's quite a few changes here. Unfortunately, there's the big gates around here because of vandalism, and then there's the hardy tree as well, which we'll have a look at in a minute. But unfortunately, that's not there either. I think, very interesting. There's first of all, the tree was infected. They're saying that, and so in 2022, the hardy tree fell down. It was under threat from being an infectious, a parasitic fungus infection. So the tree fell down, and now it's been removed. But it's a shame, really. But also, there's a very interesting article in the Camden New Journal that came out about how this historian was saying that basically the hardy tree, it's not true. That obviously Hardy, the famous British writer, he did work here when they were clearing the tombstones, because the train was the Midland King's Cross train station was being built, and apparently Polite Society didn't like to go on trains past cemeteries, so it was removed. But you can see this was so apparently they were put here, and but apparently it was a self-seeded ash that grew. So and it was after Hardy had been there. So so he was overseeing the removal of bodies, but he didn't have anything to do with the tombstones. This is the local historian Malcolm Holmes, but I'll leave a link to the article. So again, very interesting if you're a fan of Thomas Hardy. And I saw this a couple of years ago when I visited, so you can imagine I was very surprised when I went, and it's just not there anymore, really, and to be honest. Yeah, I think it's a very nice place to visit though, and you really, again, just like the area itself, it has a feeling of it's like a different world, really. But the Fleet River, which flowed down through from at the top of Hampstead, obviously past my old school New End, down past Fleet Road, which is just up the road from where my father grew up. Then it also flowed, I beg your pardon, it flowed down past here. And even in the 18th century, there's the people by the river, and then obviously it made its way down. So this was like on the way to towards the Thames, but you can see again, it's just it's a real shame, really. There's a picture showing the church, and just a nice sort of area here. We're autumnal at the moment. This is a real shame, actually. I came, there was all these, like, this is a real reminder of like growing up in Bloomsbury. Like, you go to any sort of local park, and it's like there's a cemetery, tombstones like piled up, a lot of homeless people living in Camden, and in tents in gardens, basically. Unfortunately, there's one tucked away in the corner here as well. But lovely tombstones, lots of them from the early 1800s, and of course all the Huguenots. There's a lot of Huguenot graves, and a big marker celebrating all the people that came over from France. So but a very nice place. As I said, this is St Pancras, so that was the name of the parish up until the 1900s. And it became the Borough of St Pancras. And hopefully that's a helpful end to what I've really enjoyed, and really looking forward to the next one on Clerkenwell. So thank you very much for watching.
Run through